Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to tonight's top stories, let's head outside and take a look outside our weather window on this Monday, looking down from our Wenatchee Heights Sky-Fi Tower camera. And yeah, winter wonderland. It's awfully cold out there today. Unseasonably cold Arctic air did slide in from the northeast, and we are set for some very cold days as we move through the rest of this week. Here's some temperatures. First, let's get to some snow. We could see that as we get into tomorrow, maybe into Tuesday night, probably about 1 to 3 inches in the Wenatchee area. But look at the west of us. If you're traveling over Stevens Pass, 8 to 12 inches of snow is forecast for tomorrow. It's going to be a snowy one if you're traveling west. And now let's get to that cold weather. High temperatures this week, only about 5 to 20 degrees, and overnight low temperatures 10 below to 5 degrees above. And we are talking some very cold wind chills as well. We'll have your complete north central Washington weather forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. Heavy snow continued to make Snoqualmie Pass tough going Sunday, and that continued into today. A male suspect phoned in a threat against a Leavenworth business Friday night, leading to a downtown shelter-in-place order during the town's busy Village of Lights festival. And the former Collins Fruit Warehouse in Monitor continued to smolder today after a devastating fire that broke out 4 days ago. But first, our top story tonight, the Grant County Sheriff's Office said a pursuit early this morning west of Beverly began with the deputy's vehicle narrowly avoiding a head-on collision and ended with the suspect's arm in canine Chewbacca's mouth. The Sheriff's Office said about 1:30 a.m. a vehicle driven by 23-year-old Gerardo Romero of Mattawa served into oncoming traffic on road T.5 and then forced a deputy to go off the roadway to avoid a head-on collision. The deputy reportedly then followed the suspect to Highway 243, where Romero refused to pull over and a pursuit ensued. The Sheriff's Office said the vehicle spun out in the area of Road 24 Southwest and Romero fled on foot. Chewbacca was brought in to track the suspect and reportedly found him hiding behind some bushes. The canine bit Romero on the arm and held him until deputies arrived. After being treated for that dog bite, Romero was taken to the Grant County Jail on charges of eluding and possession of a stolen vehicle. The vehicle was reportedly stolen in the Tri-Cities area. Heavy snow continued to make Snoqualmie Pass tough going yesterday, and that continued into today. Collisions involving several semis and passenger vehicles closed westbound Interstate 90 last night for more than 4 hours near Ellensburg. The Washington State Patrol did not report any injuries from the collisions, which happened shortly after 5 p.m. The Washington State Department of Transportation reported this morning that snow continued to fall on the pass at a rate of 2 inches per hour or more. A change requirement remained in place for the pass all day today. Well, a male suspect phoned in a threat against a Leavenworth business Friday night, leading to a downtown shelter-in-place order during the town's busy Village of Lights festival. The call came into the Rivercom Dispatch Center at 6:58 p.m. with the suspect threatening a Leavenworth business and claiming to have a rifle, ammunition, and a pipe bomb. Under Sheriff Jason Matthews said several Chelan County deputies and Washington State Patrol troopers conducted a sweep of the downtown area and did not find corroboration of that threat. It's the third such threat to target Leavenworth's downtown in the last 3 years. A bomb threat in December of 2020 led authorities to close Highway 2 and evacuate the downtown business district. A second threat last March also forced a highway closure. In both cases, no explosive devices were found and no suspect was arrested. The investigation is ongoing. Well, the former Collins Fruit Warehouse in Monitor continued to smolder today after a devastating fire that broke out 4 days ago. The 35,000 square foot building was home to both a cannabis cultivator and a storage site for nearby Boswell's Furniture. The fire that consumed the building was first reported shortly after 1 a.m. on Thursday, and heavy smoke led to a shelter-in-place order that remained in place throughout the day. Fire agencies said the brick building was largely insulated with sawdust, a heavily combustible material. The cause of the warehouse fire remains under investigation. Well, when we come back, based on statistics from the federal government, inflation has hit Wenatchee harder than all other cities in the country in the past decade. Chelan County Commissioners today passed a budget that features just over $61 million in general fund spending for 2023. 12th District Representative Keith Gaynor has again been selected as the ranking Republican on the House Local Government Committee. The Teen Center, operated by the Wenatchee Valley YMCA, is now open to middle school students. And continuing a tradition that began on a much smaller scale more than a decade ago, Grant County law enforcement on Sunday helped distribute pillowcases filled with gifts to 250 foster children. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
Welcome back. And in other news, based on statistics from the federal government, inflation has hit Wenatchee harder than all other cities in the country over the past decade. In an analysis of data released by the Bureau of Economic Analysis, Bloomberg News determined that from 2010 to 2021, the cost of living increased the most in Wenatchee, followed by the Villages, Florida, which is a massive retirement community. Bloomberg said both cities jumped more than 150 places on the list of costliest places to live. Overall, the most expensive place to live in the country remains the San Francisco area. Seattle ranks 5th on the list. Bloomberg said in 2010, Wenatchee's cost of living ranked about in the middle of 389 metro areas in the country, but last year jumped to 36th. In its headline, Bloomberg said, quote, "An underappreciated inflation loser is Wenatchee, Washington," unquote. Well, Chelan County Commissioners today passed a budget that features just over $61 million in general fund spending for 2023. County Administrator Kathy Mulhall says if the budget pencils out as planned, the year should end about $9.7 million left over. Commissioners had to use about $5 million in reserve funds to balance the county's financials. The county said the shortfall resulted in part from growing inflation and the end of federal pandemic relief. Well, 12th District Representative Keith Gaynor has again been selected as the ranking Republican on the House Local Government Committee for the upcoming session of the state legislature. The committee deals with issues related to the operations of cities, counties, and some special districts. Gaynor said his 4 terms as a Chelan County Commissioner make him an especially good fit for that committee. House Republicans recently announced committee assignments, with Gaynor also reappointed to the Environment and Energy and Transportation Committees. The 105-day legislative session begins on January 9th. The teen center, operated by the Wenatchee Valley YMCA, is now open to middle school students. Dory Foster, chief executive of the community nonprofit, said the center has been previously open to kids younger than middle school age. Admission is free for middle schoolers in the Wenatchee Valley, who are often considered too old for most non-school educational programs and camps. Foster says the YMCA wants to reduce barriers for young people who need a safe place for meeting and recreation. Continuing a tradition that began on a much smaller scale more than a decade ago, Grant County law enforcement on Sunday helped distribute pillowcases filled with gifts to 250 foster children. Working with the juvenile court guardian ad litem, Grant County deputies and Ephrata police handed out the individually labeled pillowcases filled with toys and other items donated by people and businesses from throughout the county. Guardian ad litem volunteers donated the pillowcases and materials used to make them. The event began more than 10 years ago with Christmas stockings, but was switched to pillowcases because the stockings were getting overfilled. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Up until this year, Douglas County was too small to have its own elected coroner. That's a role that was held by the county prosecutor. But after it passed a population of 40,000 people, Douglas County by law had to establish a coroner's office. Tanner Bateman, a Wenatchee Valley native who worked as a deputy coroner in the prosecutor's office, ran unopposed and won the office in November. In tonight's featured story, he sat down with NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins to talk about his new job.
So within the county, the coroner investigates every unexpected, unattended, and suspicious death within the county. And so what will happen is, for instance, let's say there's a welfare check, sheriff's office or police department respond, find somebody deceased, they'll call us. We'll show up, kind of investigate the scene alongside the sheriff's office, look for any wounds, any medical issues that we can see, or just kind of piece together the scene at what might have happened. And then after the scene, the decedent will go to the funeral home, and then we'll go down and do another external exam at the funeral home to be more thorough, make sure we didn't miss anything. And then it's a lot of paperwork. We come back, request medical records, talk to primary care physicians, talk to specialty physicians to kind of paint the whole picture of the person's medical history, because we only know them from the scene, whereas their primary care physician or doctor knows them very well throughout their entire life going to see that doctor. So then we work with them to try to determine the best cause of death that will go on the death certificate and manner of death. So, and that's for natural causes, of course. And then you get ones where it is suspicious or suspected homicide, and those are a lot more in depth. Have detectives come out from the respective agencies and investigate the scene itself, where the decedent is the coroner's jurisdiction, just the body and the physical evidence on the body.
Was there something in your background that made you feel like you would be a good fit for this job? Was there something that moved you toward coroner's work or forensic work or death investigation?
even from a young age, I wanted to be a coroner, and it sounds odd, but I had a lot of family who were law enforcement within King County, Snohomish County. They were detectives. Some of them worked on the Green River killer case. And so they would kind of share tidbits of information when we'd have Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so I just became kind of fascinated with it. And I always loved biology. And it's kind of the best of both worlds. You get to see the medical side of things and the investigative side of things. So you get to kind of play detective, and I don't want to say doctor, but you get to kind of review the medical records and kind of piece things together from a medical standpoint as to what might have happened when the person passed.
Time for a check now of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you all had a great weekend. A little bit of light snow Friday into Saturday, and then just a chilly day yesterday. And boy, did we see that today. Moving up north with our Sky-Fi weather cam today, and we're up north in Okanagan County, the Columbia River, the Methow River meeting the Columbia right here. Here is Pateros, Brewster back there, and we did see some blue sky at times today. It was a cloudy start to the day, and boy, was it unseasonably cold. 12 degrees, our unofficial high temperature today. 32 is where we should be for this time of year, so 20 degrees below that normal high. 3 degrees our low this morning. 24 is where we should be. Our record cold, 4 below, and that was set back in 1984. Record high, 49 in 2004. With that extra inch of snow, we're now up to 18 inches for the season in the Wenatchee Valley. Sunrise 7:44, and the sun set this afternoon at 4:12. Let's take a look at what we can expect as we get you into Tuesday. And folks, it is going to stay cold as we make our way through at least to the end of the week. 14 in Moses Lake tomorrow, 13s for Ephrata and Quincy. Also Ellensburg, you'll top off at 13 tomorrow, 11 for Wenatchee, and 10 the high temperature if you're traveling up to Leavenworth. Let's take a look at tonight now. Our surface loops. Snow showers will develop a little bit later on. There is an area of low pressure just off the Washington coast. It's throwing clouds our way, and you can see most of the snow showers will be to our west. We do have a winter storm watch for the western part of Chelan County overnight tonight. For tomorrow, this is your morning commute, a little bit of snow, and then it really fills in as we make our way into the afternoon hours for Tuesday. As we mentioned, it's going to remain cold with highs in the lower teens. For Wednesday, partly cloudy skies, but notice the pink area. That's all of that cold air sliding down from Canada, and we're still going to feel the effects of that with some snow tomorrow. I'm thinking about 1 to 3 inches accumulation by tomorrow night. Most of that snow as we get into Thursday then will be to our south. It will stay dry and cold. High temperatures of 7 degrees on Thursday. Bundle up if you're outside. Friday, cloudy, scattered snow showers for Friday. We'll see high temperatures once again on the cold side, only into the mid-teens. And look at the snow as it works its way through our area on Friday. Just a giant area of low pressure moving down from the Gulf of Alaska. Christmas Eve, here's your morning, noon, and at 10 p.m. And we are going to see a little bit of everything on Saturday. Some freezing rain, some snow mixed with rain, maybe even some sleet out there on Christmas Eve. And for your Christmas Day, cloudy skies, another gigantic area of low pressure off our Pacific coast. But the good news is it's bringing some southwesterly flow into Washington state, so that means some warmer temperatures. By Christmas, we should see high temperatures into the mid-30s. Take a look now at your 7-day forecast, brought to you tonight by Apple Valley Honda. And it's going to be cold. Bundle up over the next few days. 4 degrees our low tonight. 11 with snow likely at times on Tuesday. Also a very chilly overnight. How about this overnight low on Wednesday? 5 degrees below here in the Wenatchee area. 10 for our high. And then we slowly, and I mean slowly, begin to warm up as we get into the end of the week. Some evening snow showers on Thursday, snow likely for Friday. By the time we get into our Christmas weekend, Christmas Eve, 25 degrees with snow likely, and then a mix of rain and snow on Sunday. High temperature for Christmas at 34. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Hello, television family. Grab your cup of coffee each weekday morning and join me. I'm Dan Kuntz, the host of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's everything you need to start your day. We're live and we're local at 7 a.m. every weekday on the NCWLIFE channel.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday to you. The Seattle Kraken wrapped up a busy sports weekend with a 3-2 comeback win over Winnipeg yesterday at Climate Pledge Arena. Seattle was finally home after a 1-3 road trip. Fell behind early to the Jets, but Jordan Eberle started the comeback for the Kraken in the first.
That's always the case. Now done for Larson. Slap pass, Eberle scores! Now you see it. Now you don't. A little magic from Jordan Eberle, and the Kraken have tied it. Kyle Connor, Dubois, seam pass off Larson, not out. Morrissey, Connor, stopped by Grubauer, they score. Pierre-Luc Dubois had a yawning cage and no mistake. To the boards now, Yanni Gord. Shot taken, tipped in! Ryan Donato! 1, 2, 3 goals and 3 straight, and the Kraken have tied it. To the wall now, forced by Schwartz. McCann scores! Jared McCann with a short side stinger. Hey, what do you say? 3-2, Seattle. 1 in a fraction on the clock. Benier squares off against Dubois, goes forward. The Kraken get it. That's Kraken hockey, baby. A 3-2 win over Winnipeg.
Good win yesterday. Seattle's off today before hosting St. Louis tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on Root Sports Northwest. Well, the Wenatchee Wild had a rough weekend. North of the border, Wenatchee fell to the onslaught of Penticton Friday, 7-2. The final, Parker Murray and Michael Valdez scored for the Wild, but not enough. On Saturday, Wenatchee's Cade Littler tried to bring the Wild back all the way himself, scoring 2 goals in the second and third periods, but not enough. They fall to the Venom, 3-2. Wenatchee's off for the holiday break this week and will be back at the Town Toyota Center a week from Friday, hosting Prince George. Well, the Gonzaga Bulldogs won a big one on national stage Saturday in men's college basketball. The 15th-ranked Bulldogs outlasted the spirited effort from the 4th-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide on CBS 100-90, the final. Also over the weekend, Eastern Washington dumped UC Davis 79-68. Washington topped Idaho State 90-55. Washington State came up short yesterday to number 11 Baylor 65-59. On the women's side, Washington State topped Jackson State Saturday 83-56. 23rd rated Gonzaga beat BYU in Spokane 67-58. Haley Van Lith led Louisville with 20 points. The Cardinals topped Pittsburgh 77-53 yesterday. Also, Washington fell to Liberty 66-44. Washington State's football team no match for Fresno State to the Jimmy Kimmel L.A. Bowl Saturday. The Bulldogs outgained the Cougars 401-182 in the game that was a 29-6 blowout. Despite the loss, Coach Jake Dickert says he's proud of his players on the positive season for the program.
Yeah, it isn't about one outcome. You know, that's the biggest thing. I told the team after the game, I'm really proud of them. You know, I'm proud of, more importantly, those 13 seniors that you never know if you're going to put the pads back on. And those guys, you know, we took over a program this year that we had to establish a foundation. And I'm proud of the foundation that they have started, because it's something that you can build on and you can build a championship team around. And I'm just really proud of those guys, the effort, you know, through all challenges and adversities, not just today, but as we went throughout the season. You know, there was times when we could have quit and given up, and there's never those mindset or moments in this team, you know, so we kept pushing and just didn't get the outcome that we were looking for today.
Washington State wraps up the season 7-6. Taking a look at the Les Schwab Prep girls basketball scoreboard. Let's go back to Friday. First of all, Moses Lake beat Wenatchee 61-18. Prosser topped Ephrata by 40. Ouch. Shomack shut down Chelan 53-44. Republic more than doubled Oroville. Okanagan topped Tonasket. Brewster beat Lake Roosevelt. On Saturday, Eastmont dominated Wenatchee in a game broadcast here on the NCWLIFE channel. 45-18 the final, holding the Panthers to just 1 first-half point. I was alongside Grant Olson with a call right here.
Wenatchee, small crowd on hand. Here's a three-pointer, and just like that, Grant, Emma Bergen says, we're going to start making these from outside. The inbounds pass comes in, and Cardona shoots a long two-pointer. It's good. The first field goal of the game by Danica Cardona for Wenatchee. Be completely different.
You know, that's right.
Around the perimeter, here's a 2 on the way in, good from outside by Elizabeth Hines. That's her 8th point of the game. It's halfway through the fourth quarter. Here's a 3-pointer from outside for Eastmont. It's good. Oh my, Emma Bergen. She's got 7. That's her second 3 of the ball game.
I bet that feels good. She has been really
away.
Cool.
Ripped away by Klinkenberg. She'll feed ahead for the right-handed layup. Good by Hines. As Eastmont comes in and gets their first victory of the season by downing Wenatchee tonight 45-18.
Elizabeth Hines led the way for Eastmont with 12 points in the win. Also on Saturday, it was Sunnyside over Moses Lake. Omak beat Lake Roosevelt. Brewster topped Quincy. Okanagan cold Colville. Bridgeport beat Entiat by 23. Boys basketball going back to Friday. Moses Lake edged Wenatchee 68-62. Prosser topped Ephrata 51-43. Kashmir cruised by Cascade 72-48. Omak beat Chelan. Republic won by 6 over Oroville. Okanagan topped Tonasket. Lake Roosevelt beat Brewster 71-60 on Saturday. Wenatchee got off to a good start, but couldn't hold on as Eastmont came back for the big 81-47 victory. Grant and I had the call here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Here's Michael Torres with Monahan on him. Gets a screen, running jumper, good! Wenatchee coming out playing with some energy here in this first quarter and have a 6-2 lead. Now it's Shindelli inside the three-point line. No, it isn't. It's a 3, and it's good. The rebound, and it's into the hands of Reese Gallagher. 3-on-2, Eastmont. Gallagher, layup is good. Jelsing on him. Shindelli now, top of the key, drives to the elbow, won't take it. Gallagher will go for 3. Swish!
Watching everybody else fight down low, gets the ball and just drains it.
Another turnover for the Panthers. Hobson steals it, and a two-handed jam. Andy Hobson, and it's good. Woo! Smoking hot here in this second quarter. Here's Torres. Jump pass stolen away. Here's Gallagher this time, and he dunks it.
On the bench, like right after the first quarter ended, he was just like, we wanted to mainly focus on one thing. It was defensive consistency or intensity, and we just really wanted to focus on that and come out like, don't let him shoot, don't let him like get any offense started, and we just wanted to like push him on that. So yeah.
And you know, Reese, you guys are 3-3 on the season now, but you've rebounded just about every team you've played this year so far, and tonight you made those rebounds count.
Yeah. Our coach, he just wanted us like crash the boards, make sure to just get all those rebounds and get our offense going right away. Yeah.
Also on Saturday, Sunnyside beat Moses Lake by 3. Omak edged Lake Roosevelt. Brewster beat Quincy. Okanagan down Colville. Bridgeport edged Entiat, and Inchelium down Oroville 60-24. Finally, Denver came from behind to beat Arizona in NFL action yesterday. Cardinals dropped to 4-10 with a loss. Rams and Green Bay kicking off right now in the frozen tundra on ESPN. That's a look at sports news. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. It is, of course, Christmas week here at the NCWLIFE channel, so we're going to hold to our long-standing Christmas week tradition here at the television station. I'm going to be here all week long, but I'm not going to work real hard. That's basically it. I'll be here Tuesday doing a show for you. I'm not going to put a lot of effort into it. Wednesday, I'll lean forward a little bit, try and put together something for you. We'll have some good shows for you this week, provided I, put my nose to the grindstone, and I really don't want to do that because my nose is my livelihood. So tune in for a Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll find out together what happens. Grant, back to you.
Can't wait for that, Dan. Thank you very much. And that'll do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for being with us. Have a great night.